thank you for those of you watching live, and thank you for those of you watching replay. I'm really grateful for all your feedback and for you watching my videos. So today I want to talk about the Twitter automation update, because a few weeks ago Twitter announced that it's clamping down on bots and on the spam and all the noise out there in the platform, and decided to update its terms of service. The interesting thing is that especially after the massive Facebook change earlier this year, to see how different platforms actually announce their changes and how they help their users to get the most out of it, to learn and to update their strategies. And Facebook is really good in telling people, this is the rule, this is what you need to do, this is what you should not be doing, this is how you do it, here are the resources. And Twitter is more about like, well, try to guess what's happening. We might have an update, but we will not tell you much about it. So it's been really blurry for the past few weeks to actually figuring out what it is that Twitter new rules will be and how it will affect you as a business owner. So I've done a bit of research, watched some webinars, and it seems that there will be 2-3 main things that Twitter will really punish users for doing. So the first thing is that you cannot post identical or very similar content to multiple accounts. So let's say that you would have your one account for one location, another account for another location, and multiple locations, and you would want the same content that is relevant for all these locations to go out. You are not allowed anymore to create one tweet and send the same copy or very similar copy to multiple accounts. So each tweet needs to be unique. What means very similar? Well, who knows? If it's 1 word, 2 words, if it's change of few lines, does not make it clear. Twitter doesn't make it clear, so I'm not sure, but you are not allowed to post the same or identical or very similar content to multiple accounts. And the biggest change that will probably affect most small businesses is that you are not allowed to post the same or very similar content multiple times on one account. So what used to be a really good tactic for driving engagement, driving traffic, growing the account was creating a recurring schedule of evergreen content, to write blog posts and create lots of different tweets and different options, and sharing the same blog post every few weeks, every few months, kind of rolling over all the content that is evergreen. And now Twitter says you're not allowed to do that. You are not allowed to share the same content, the same or very similar, again really vague, very similar content on the same account multiple times. It doesn't mean if it's during one day, over a week, over a month. Never ever you are allowed to share the same content on one account again. So that makes all these recurring tools, all these tools that allow you to create queues and really reshuffle and repost the same content all over again, really dangerous and useless. So you should really double check if you're using one of these tools like SmarterQueue or Repurposing or MeetEdgar or Replay or all these new tools or eClincher, that they are complying with these rules, that they actually know what these new Twitter rules are, and they are complying with all of them. I've done a little bit of research into these tools, and most of them seem to be aware, and they seem to work towards some new tools and allowing you to create different variations and create multiple tweets with the same link but with different copy. But few tools that I've noticed do not pay attention to both of these rules. They usually only reflect the first bit of not posting the same content to multiple accounts, but some tools like eClincher or Replay that I looked at yesterday, they're still allowing you to repurpose the same content all over and all over again, which is now not allowed, well, from Friday. So I would definitely double check the tools that you're using currently, and it might be even if you're scheduling manually via Buffer or Hootsuite, or even if you're posting manually on Twitter. but you have a spreadsheet and you have all your text and your copy somewhere and you just copy paste. You are not allowed to post the same or very similar content twice. So just be careful that this will come into account on Friday, and it seems that Twitter will be really strict with this. You might get your account suspended. So think about your new Twitter strategy, how it will affect you, how it will affect the traffic coming from Twitter to your website, and how you actually will be using Twitter differently. Because it means that you will need to put much more effort into creating unique tweets, into creating unique copy for each of your tweets. So lots of people, again, will really freak out and will abandon Twitter at all. Please don't do that. Twitter is still a lovely place, and I think that this change is definitely for the better. It will, again, allow people who use this platform genuinely, who really have interest in building relationships, in engaging in conversations, to have more space, to get more exposure, more engagement, better result. So there are two ways you can go around. You can ditch scheduling at all, and there's lots of people who don't schedule at all. They literally use Twitter in a live, real-time, authentic way with absolutely no scheduling at all, and it seems to be working pretty well for them, because no matter what they do, if they do something, it has much bigger impact. So even though their sort of overall result might not be as huge, but whenever they do something, the one-off result and the extent one tweet can go for them is much greater. So you might just be, okay, I'm not going to schedule, I'm not going to plan anything on Twitter, and I will just use it as I go when I go. But also you can think about, well, I still want to plan because I have different time zones, or I have kids and I just want to be more flexible with my time and I don't want to be thinking about this. So you can still schedule and you can still create multiple copies of share multiple copies of your blog post or your video, but you always need to make sure that the copy for each of your tweets and copy for each of your posts is unique, is not very similar to other ones. So again, very similar, hard to tell what very similar means, but you need to make sure that when you create new blog post, new video, that you create 3, 5, 6 different unique tweets, unique copies to actually add value, and then you can schedule them as usual. When you want to repurpose them, again, whenever you're trying to repurpose the content that already done really well, just go into the copy and change the copy a little bit, just tweak few words, and it could be literally as like, hey, check out my latest blog, have you seen my latest blog, go and have a look at my latest blog. It just needs to be a little different wording, so you're literally just not copy pasting the same thing. So this is what's happening on Twitter. We should see much less noise on Twitter because there's so many accounts literally had massive views, automated and rolling over and over and over again, which from Friday will not be allowed, and there will be lots of accounts suspended for doing it. So please don't be one of those accounts, don't get suspended, but really think about how you can leverage this space that will be created on Twitter by producing really quality, really engaging content that is tailored for this particular platform. And I've written a blog post about this to giving you a bit more info and some links and some tips, so I will link it into the comments so you can again read, and there's some other resources that you can have a look on what you need to do with your Twitter right now and what it means and how you can leverage your Twitter going forward. So thank you for watching. I hope that it made sense, and hopefully you got some great tips on how to use Twitter going forward, and hopefully none of you will get suspended by doing something that Twitter does not allow anymore. Let me know in comments if you have any questions, or if you're struggling with something, if something doesn't make any sense. There are a few more different rules that Twitter is also introducing, but they're not that important for genuine people. They're literally just for people who are using Twitter as bots, and I'm sure none of you has been using Twitter in an abusive way. So thank you very much for you watching live. Hi Mark, hi James, it's so great to see you live here. It's really nice to know that I'm not just talking to myself. And thank you all of you who are watching on a replay, and I will be back with another live video next Wednesday. Thank you, cheers!